Hello, my name is John Rose, and today is June 1st, 2018, and it's a very special day to me because it was 28 years ago to this day that I discovered the most valuable knowledge in the world. It's changed my life ever since then, and the last 28 years of my life is actually better than the very first 28 years of my life, because at the age of 28, I took the rocking chair test. Have you ever heard of the rocking chair test before? If you're a younger person and you want to take this test, and I highly recommend it, what you do is you project yourself into the future as a much older person, sitting in a rocking chair, rocking back and forth, reflecting back on your life to see if maybe you might have any regrets. Were there any things you did you wish you hadn't? Or more importantly, were there things you didn't do that you wish you had? Which, when asked by older people if they had any regrets, it's always the things they wish they could do over and do that they didn't do. So, when I took this test when I was 28, at that relatively young age, the only regret I could come up with is, boy, if I keep doing what I'm doing now, I'm just not going to be a very happy person when I get older. I got to change what I'm doing. I want to play for a living. I want to get outside and have some fun. And that's when I decided to pursue a career as a professional athlete. And at the age of 28, it's kind of a joke almost, a little delusional when you enter a sport when people are actually retiring. But I was in a position where I could do that and give it a shot and see what would happen. Little did I know it was going to be a huge springboard to make me the person I am today. Because if it wasn't for the pursuit of athletics, I never would have changed my diet 4 years later and stopped eating animals. And then 4 years after that, which would be when I was 36, and that's 28 years ago, when I found the most valuable knowledge in the world. Thank you, Bob Wood, most influential person in my life. And it's an amazing how just one person can influence so many people. Bob, I haven't heard from you in a long time. I hope you're still around and still with us. You know, what you've been able to do for me, what I've been able to do for others, what the amount of people you've influenced is just amazing. And when you start thinking about how that can affect the whole planet, it gets exciting, because that's when you realize that is the only thing that ever makes things change, is when a small group of people like us find this knowledge that we're missing. And I tell you, when I found this knowledge, it almost made me angry. Thinking, damn, I got screwed the first 36 years of my life. I didn't know how to live. People say we have free will. Well, our free will is limited to what we know, and I didn't know that I shouldn't be eating the wrong food. At that point, I never met a food I didn't like. And a lot of people are like that. But boy, I tell you, it's, again, the last 28 years reflecting back on how my life has changed. And I realized that my last 28 years of my life were better than the first 28, and I've had a great life my entire life. I've been lucky in life. I've been happy all of my life, but I was missing out. And I had no idea what I was missing. I had no idea there was another level of existence that's available for all of us. And it's as simple as applying the knowledge that I found 28 years ago. And if you watched any of my other videos, you know what this is about. And of course, the title of this video will kind of give it away too. I think I know what I'm going to title this, but many times I never do, and I change the title based on what I end up saying, because as y'all know, I can digress onto all types of subjects. And that's kind of what my YouTube channel is all about. I can start just about any topic in the world and get back to the only thing that matters. And that's taking responsibility for our lives, like I did 28 years ago. And I can be honest with myself, reflecting back, that had I not been pursuing a career in sports and spending so much energy in being the best athlete I could be, I'm not sure if I would have ever been willing to give up the animal products to begin with, and then take it to the next level and stop cooking the food. It's hard to tell. I would like to think I would have embraced this information. And this time of year I get very reflective, because I'll be turning 64 on the 17th. And I always get reflective at that time of year and look back onto my life and look at the different stages I went through. And I like to fantasize about what it'd be like to go back and meet myself and talk to myself. You know, tell yourself, hey, this is what you're going to be like at 64, and this is why you did it, and you really should do it earlier. You know, what would you tell yourself if you could go back? And I had a really beautiful thought the other day. In fact, I looked at my clock when it happened, so I'm going to remember this. 7:30. Beautiful thought, thanks to you guys out there. You made me realize how much fun it would have been if I had met me instead of Bob. And I was lucky to meet Bob because he was very knowledgeable in this subject. He wasn't at the top, of course, but when his wife came down with bone cancer, and she had breast cancer 8 years prior to that, and they did the traditional treatments and it went away, and it comes back like it always does as bone cancer. This time they couldn't do the treatment, so they had to look at alternatives, and Bob and his wife did a great job of looking at all the alternatives, so I got a great education from Bob. But then I think of how hard I've worked in the last 28 years to try to find and study as many pieces as I can. I realized what a treat it would be for me to meet myself. So, I want to thank you guys for all the kind words you've shared with me over the whole time I've been doing this, but especially in the last video I did the other day. And again, I get real reflective at this time of year. I can't help it. And I love this time of year. I'm so happy I was born in June. I'm so happy I found this great message in June, because every time this time of year comes around, I get reflective because of my birthday, and I look back at certain times in my life, and I always remember how much fun it was as a child when summer came around and you didn't have to go to school. So I kind of use that as a means to pump me up and get excited and feel like a kid again, and look at this whole time of year that way. And again, I love to reflect at this time of year, and it fits all so much with this raw food message. You know, I can't help but think how my life would have changed had I not found this knowledge. Since I was eating so much food as a competitive athlete, I would probably be dead by now. I had about 100 blowouts on my colon wall, which had not become inflamed yet, so it would have been labeled diverticulosis. Hadn't made it to the diverticulitis stage yet, but it would have. And if I had not known better and trusted the doctors, I would have ended up doing a bunch of treatments and maybe had my colon removed, or if it not, it would have developed into cancer, and then I might have got sucked into the chemo, and I'd probably be dead right now. So had I not found this knowledge 28 years ago, I'm kind of convinced I might not be here. And then when I look at the quality of my life compared to how it was at 36, there's no comparison. Because it took me 4 years before I finally went the distance on a solid food vacation and got rid of a 20-pound cesspool, and that's when I really crawled out of a rut I didn't know I was in. So that rocking chair test was a huge springboard for me, because it got me to reevaluate my whole life and make sure I was doing something that I really enjoyed, I looked forward to doing. And then getting into fitness got me into nutrition, and nutrition got me into wellness, wellness got me into philosophy. And now I realize that virtually everything on this planet has to do with our health or our lack of health. We don't know anything about what to eat. We don't understand what's coming out of us. The state of denial we're in in all areas is just overwhelming. And it's easy to see why we struggle so much as a species. Again, it took me 36 years before I found this knowledge. I felt like I got lucky and stumbled upon it. Met Bob Wood. Loaned me a book, Are You Confused? It opened up my eyes and appealed to my sense of logic. I knew it was right. When I quit eating animals and my endurance level skyrocketed, I knew that was right. And then when I stopped cooking my food, I knew it was right. There's just nothing. You know, when you find truth that's this simple, you know it's true. There's just no arguing in it. But then it can get complicated unless you understand the ripple effect. Cause and effect, ripple effect. That's why so many people don't do very well when they embrace this way of life. Because now we have two groups of needs. And I talk about this all the time in my videos. Just watch any of my other videos and you'll find me talking about it. And always remember, I have a special teaching tool to explain everything in a 11-part video series called The Ultimate Solution that identifies all 281 of those pieces. So whenever you want to know anything like 2 groups of needs or whatever, just go to that playlist and you'll see a description for all 11 of those categories, and you'll know exactly what video to go to find more information on that. And of course, my tool I call the Ultimate Schematic. And it's a very simple tool. It's based on 3 boxes with pluses and minuses. Everything connects together. So we can make some sense out of this in case we want to go that way. And the great thing about all of this is you don't need to go that way. Just like for me, when I first found out about raw food and I tried it, it just appealed to my sense of logic. And that's really all we need to do. As long as we understand that this species-specific diet that I discovered 28 years ago is our ideal diet in an ideal world, and what we don't live in an ideal world anymore, and that's where that other group of needs comes into play. And once again, I talk about this over and over and over in all of my other videos many times. So if there's some odd chance this might be the first video you've watched, look at the description box in this video here, and you'll see some of my key videos listed, like the Ultimate Schematic, the Ultimate Solution Playlist, and other related videos that will help you get a better idea of what that particular video is about. And I've been meaning to mention this. I don't know if some of my subscribers have noticed this or not, if you don't look in my description box, that I've recently added at the very top, after the description of the video, a section of related videos. And now that I've done so many videos, many times when I put out a video, I might have as many as a dozen related videos specifically that will tie specifically into that one particular video. I've got 10 videos already now under personanalysis, and I'm really passionate on that, and I've got some ideas on what I can do in the future for that. So be looking for those. But for now, this video is basically just an appreciation of today. I'm taping this today. It probably won't get published till Saturday or Sunday maybe. Today's Friday. And again, I've been doing this for 28 years now. I can't imagine what my life would be like if I was still alive had I not found this knowledge. And I think there's a good likelihood I might not have survived the damage I had done to my body, because it was quite extensive. And the medical solution would have only made everything worse. They would have either yanked out my colon or started giving me drugs, and I would have ended up getting cancer, and they would have given me more drugs. And that's a road that no one does very well on if they survive. And very few survive that road to begin with, and that's the most important thing to understand. Doesn't remove the cause, it only makes the body worse. So, what did I eat today? Or what am I going to eat today? I was thinking about maybe getting a durian. I haven't had one of those in a while. But I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, since I hadn't bought it ahead of time and I had thought out. Start off today with a liter of vegetable juice. Add some romaine lettuce, some cucumber, and some celery, and some apple. That was left over from yesterday. I had 3 liters of that yesterday, and then I had one today. I'll go home and make some more of that today. Got a nice big juicy red watermelon. There's a good chance I might just cut off about 5 or 6 pounds of that and eat that for my first meal, if I do eat something solid now. And then throughout the day I'll be drinking those liters that I'll make of that vegetable juice. I'll be making the same type of juice today, and finish that with a smaller salad. I've been eating much smaller salads nowadays. Instead of making a big 5-pound salad, I'm drinking most of that. That way I can make a smaller salad. I'm having more fun with that because I'm trying a few different ingredients out. And that's going to be pretty much it. I'm thinking I don't have any other supplies that at home. So if I eat anything else different today, that means I went out shopping, but I don't have plans on doing that. So today is just another typical day for me, except 28 years ago I found the most valuable knowledge in the world, and what you can do if you've already found this knowledge is you can give someone else the potential to have a day to celebrate in the future. And when you can find a bunch of people that can do that, we're in for a treat.